Today I'll be sharing with you my 5 best bits of advice that I can give you for your GCSE exams and for how you can prepare as well as you can for these GCSEs that you've got coming up soon. Before I continue, I'd like to thank Fig Tree Learning for making this video possible. Fig Tree Learning is a tutoring agency and a group of educational consultants based in London, and they offer fantastic educational resources to students. I myself have been a tutor for them, but also have been involved in some charity work that they are involved in across London. I've put a link down in the description below, so do make sure to go and check out their website. When it comes to preparing for GCSEs, here are my 5 top tips. Number 1, you should make your own notes. Number 2, you should make sure that at school you also make good notes in class. Number 3, you should do past papers. Number 4, use your textbooks. And number 5, plan revision well. So let's go through these 5 bits individually very quickly so that you can really incorporate these tips into your revision and thus do as well as possible in your upcoming exams. Number 1, I said you need to make good notes yourself. This involves you, whether on a piece of paper or whether on the computer, making notes on each topic for every subject that you're taking. Now these notes should be summary notes. They should be notes that you can learn, from which you can gain pretty much 70-80% of the detail that you need to know. In the weeks leading up to the exam, you want to have these notes at hand so that you can quickly go and revise through every single subject. Remember, you're doing 9, 10, 11, even 12 subjects possibly. You don't want to be flicking through textbooks for the first time 3 weeks before the exam. Now when writing these own notes, try your best to use your school notes, use your textbook, and also use the specification from the exam board. By using these 3 resources, you can very effectively produce a coherent set of notes which covers everything you need to know for each subject. My second key point was my second bit of advice was to make good school notes. Now, of course, I just mentioned in the previous tip that you should use your school notes to make your own notes. So, linked to this, school notes should be very good because, number 1, you'll use them to make your own notes later on. Number 2, when you make good, neat school notes in class, you'll be concentrating more in class. Then you're learning all that material once already. I hope you can see my point. If you don't pay attention in class, if you make really bad notes, if your book is upside down, then you're not really listening. Everything the teacher's saying is going straight over your head. And thus, is there any point to you being in that lesson? Your teachers are spending time, they're putting their effort in to make lessons for you, to try and teach you stuff. So you are going to be spending 50 minutes to an hour in that lesson anyway. So you might as well make use of that time and do the work then and there. Because if you listen, if you make good notes, if you learn or try and understand some of what the teacher's teaching you in that lesson, everything you learn afterwards will be easy. It'll simply be a matter of revision, as opposed to learning things from scratch. School notes often contain really good diagrams. Your teachers will most likely make you draw loads of diagrams, they'll give you graphs to stick in, so when you do get confused when you're revising later on, you can always flick through your school book and find really good illustrations that might help you understand a difficult concept in a very short period of time later on down the line when you're revising. Number 3, past papers. At the end of the day, you'll be sitting exam papers, and so it's very important that you're familiar with how the exams are structured. You want to make sure that you have the exam board and the exact specification. Then, go online, go to the exam board's website and find past papers for your specific course. Print out the past papers, do the past papers. Initially, they don't have to be under time condition, but eventually, closer to exams, you'll naturally be able to do them under the given time. Then use a mark scheme to mark these past papers. You'll learn from your mistakes when doing past papers, and eventually you'll make the same mistake a certain number of times, and then by the time exams come, you'll have made that mistake so many times, and you'll know the correct answer to that mistake, that you won't make that mistake any longer in the exam. Do you see the trick? So, do past papers, and do them for every single subject that you have. For essay-based subjects, your school teachers will be more than happy to go through essays that you've written in your own time, make sure the past paper things attached to it, take the essay to your school teacher and very kindly ask if they can mark it. And if you are a proactive and motivated student like that, your school teacher will actually help you even more. And even if you do think that your school teachers are mean, maybe and they won't do it, just try and ask them, and you might be pleasantly surprised. Number 4, get textbooks for every one of your subjects. Go to your school library, go and find the textbooks. If your department doesn't give it to you, go on Amazon, you can buy it off there. I think Amazon does second-hand books as well. eBay does second-hand books. Just find textbooks for every single subject that you're doing. These textbooks are written specifically for your exam. And so by reading these textbooks in your spare time, by reading these textbooks just in general, you'll be getting ideas, you'll be getting content from another way. Your school teacher will teach you in a certain way. The textbook will approach the same situation from a different way. And by reading about the same topic in a few different ways, you'll get a really good idea and a really good grasp of that topic. Also, when writing your own notes, textbooks come in very handy for diagrams and illustrations. Of course, you don't need to remember these illustrations and diagrams for the actual exam, but for your understanding, looking at a diagram and seeing how that sort of works and the relationships within that diagram can really help your understanding of a certain topic. So go out and get those relevant textbooks. So although the official textbook for geography, for example, might be some thick textbook, you might be able to find, for your course, for your board, a revision guide made by a different company, made by some students or something. And this might be really concise and super easy to go through. So I also suggest that in addition to these textbooks, you get revision guides, because near the exam, you can zoom through topics by going through these revision guides. Last but not least, plan your revision. If you're doing 10 subjects, you've got 10 subjects, 3 units at least, that's 30 units worth of work. That's a lot of stuff. If you have a planned approach to your learning, if you have a planned approach to note writing, if you have a planned approach to your past papers, your life will be much easier. You won't be that person who's panicking the night before the exam thinking, oh no, I don't know anything, I didn't revise, I wish I'd revised earlier. Plan ahead. For the sciences, you want to write your notes during Christmas, and then you want to begin past papers in January and February. Subjects which have more content, like theory-based content, like geography, history, that are based on case studies, and English, for example, those sorts of subjects you'll focus more on in the new year. Past papers take what, an hour or 2 a day? So you can actually fit in your past papers pretty conveniently around your other subjects which are taking more time to revise. Now this advice is coming from personal experience. I found it so helpful having done my science notes and maths notes earlier, because then I could just simply focus on religion, philosophy, geography, history, all of those subjects. And this ultimately allowed me to achieve the 12 A stars in my GCSEs. So, to summarise my points, my 5 top tips that you should incorporate into your learning. Number 1, it's write your own notes. Number 2, make sure you're paying attention at school and you make use of the lesson time and write really good class notes. Number 3, do practice papers, do past papers, do as many as you can. You'll never run out of them. And the more you do, I can guarantee that better your mark will be in your final exam. Number 4, go out and get textbooks and good revision guides. Go on Amazon, read the reviews, ask friends about revision guides, and find the relevant books. And number 5, plan your revision. Don't try and attempt to do 11-12 subjects with no plan. A planned and structured approach will allow you to achieve those grades that you are dreaming about. So I hope this video has been helpful. If you do have any questions, make sure to comment down below. If you are new to the channel, welcome. If you haven't yet subscribed, please do. And if you did find this video useful, please give it a like. Now do keep an eye out for more GCSE based advice videos where I'll be going through individual subjects and my tips for those individual subjects. Once again, I'd like to thank Victory Learning for making this video possible, and that's all from me today. Thank you guys for watching and take care.